Welcome to High Vibrational Mastery, where we are raising the vibration of the planet one soul at a time. My name is Meagan Michael. I am a seer, a seeker, a visionary, and a medium. Every Sunday, I present to you spiritual thought leaders from around our world and beyond. Today, it is solstice, guys! Winter solstice 2020. It's 12/21. There's this amazing conjunction happening. This is like the new earth blooming today. I'm really excited and honored to be joined once again by the incredible author and channeler, David Strickel. So please join me in welcoming David.
Thank you so much for having me. Always fun to be here.
Oh, I'm so excited.
What a fun day, right? Already, just everything's just...
It's amazing. I was ready 4 hours early because I misjudged the time, right? But there were no accidents because I looked, I create the promos for us and everything, right? And I think of it over and over again. I was sure that it was 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. What Spirit wanted me to do was go live myself because I haven't gone live in a while. And that's what I wound up doing and connecting. Everything just flows the way it's supposed to flow.
And you had a good time, I'm sure.
I did, and I'm really excited to be here with you now. So
during that time, I did my live radio show with Debbie G from Spirituality Gone Wild. I think we're in there also right now, so hi, SGW. And we had the best time. That hour went by just like that, and we just laughed the whole time.
Oh, I love that. I love Debbie. I'm looking forward to, I was talking to her this morning and we're going to be planning something. So I'll be working with her too. This is just like the most amazing. One thing we did mention off camera was that like you were, can I mention the 2017 that Sure. You were saying that you hadn't connected with spiritual people until about 2017. I feel I had the same thing, same experience. And then there was this huge catalyst in my life. And like you're saying, now it feels like you know everybody. I don't think I know everybody, but I feel like I have a lot of like the most amazing people in the whole world. And you know what? I'm honored because I manifested that. I'm aligned with that. I attracted that into my experience. So you.
Yeah. We create our bubble of reality. And when your bubble of reality expands to connecting with a certain group of people, all of a sudden they just populate around you. And it just is. It's nothing, all this planning, you don't have to plan. You just have to align. Be it.
Yes. I'm going to go and make sure that we share it out to a couple more groups. Before you go, will you talk to us for a few minutes before you go and bring us the incredible stream?
Sure.
Awesome.
I'm not as chatty as they are, but I'm always happy to talk.
Hi, Kim Siegel. Welcome. Glad you're here. So Kim, if you guys have any questions, feel free to share your questions. All right. And I will read them from the comments to the stream when we get there. Or David, if you want to ask David a question. I do. I want to talk a little bit more with you on camera about this new energy, about this whole situation. Hi, Stephanie. Hello, Joe, Zamora. Hello, everybody.
Hi, Joe.
And I like our bubbly spirit. Thank you.
Hi, Stephanie. Hi. Familiar faces.
Mm-hmm. So David, what is your personal David Strickel feeling about the whole solstice and the energy and the whole experience surrounding all of this? The hoopla?
Well, you've talked to me in the stream enough to know we talk a lot about polarity and energy, that everything is energy and everything is flow of energy. And that's where the word polarity comes in. And we're always in some version of it. And certainly we are in an amped up version of it right now. But the true power in it is the power that we're giving to it collectively. And that's not to diminish the significance of the day or the event, but to simply illustrate how powerful we are. And that when we focus positively, we have this power all the time. We can all get together and get excited about anything. Christmas Day, New Year's, the end of the pandemic, whatever we want to get excited about, give it that power and that energy, or giving the energy and the power to the transformative energy of the pandemic. Whatever we want to do, however we want to focus on it, is how we create our reality. And we do that in our own lives. And of course, our lives are just a reflection of the collective of humanity. The collective of humanity is a reflection of the whole universe. So we have that power. We're creating this bubble as we perceive it. So that's why I love days like today. It shows you how powerful we are as creators. And then we just want to take that power into our personal lives and create it anytime we want.
I love that. I love what you're saying. And I'm not meaning to be rude. I'm just trying to still share it.
You're busy. You're sharing.
I am sharing.
I'll say hi to Mike Markowitz, a good friend.
Oh, that was it? I thought you were going to say hi to 4 people. So
everybody say hi. There's a lot of people on right now, but they're not all saying hi. I'm saying hi as they sign on. So I said hi to Stephanie, hi to Joe, hi to Kim. Some people, if you don't register with StreamYard, your name doesn't show up. So some people show up as Facebook user. So you can tell us who you are if we're not naming you by name. If you want.
That's Diane Hoffman, because I just read her comment on Facebook.
Ah, so perfect.
She's the one that's saying, "I'm so glad of manifesting finding this group." I love it. Thank you.
We're going to have a fun time. However long it goes, we're going to go as long as it goes.
Exactly. Kim, will you share it to you? She probably already did. If Kim shares it, since she shares it to everybody. Kim, you shared it to all the groups? Because then I'll just relax. All right. Woohoo. We're rocking and we're rolling. So, oh gosh, I'm really excited. Is there anything else that I specifically want to ask you? Not at this moment. Maybe later.
That's okay.
Is that okay? Unless you want to talk about David and, you know.
No, I'm just in a great space today. I felt great all day. I've been kind of meditating on and off all day long. You know, I'm all about the little mini just moments of silence rather than trying to go sequester myself. I'm a type A personality. I think you probably are too. And, you know, we're in get it done mode all the time, right? Got to get it done. Got to get this done. Got to accomplish something. You know, I'm you know, attached to this thing all the time. And to just put that down and just be quiet for just a little moment. And when you do the work that I do and that I'm sure you do, where you're kind of managing your perspective and your vibration all the time, allowing that source connection to just click is so easy when you sort of do the ongoing work. And then when you get your moment of still, a moment of silence, it's just there. And it's the best feeling in the world. And I've experienced a lot of fantastic physical experiences, a lot of manifestations that people want in life that think are going to bring them happiness. Nothing compares to that just isness of source.
Yes.
And these wonderful interactions are the best. They're absolutely the best. So anything that you want, you can have, but really appreciating stuff like this is where it's at.
Oh,
this is where it's at.
I share with you. Oh, my cat moved it. Hang on one second. Let me fix this once. Oh, cats. Okay, so can I share with you, like, really quick, an amazing synchronicity that happened today? Oh,
absolutely.
Thank you. Oh, that looks really good. I like that idea. Water. See, grateful and blessed.
I love it.
Yeah, I want to charge that water up with good feelings. So, as I mentioned earlier, I think I mentioned, yes, I was 4 hours early for the broadcast. So I for some reason I thought, well, I guess because the one yesterday and the broadcast tomorrow, they're at 3:00. Anyway, I was sure it was 3:00. I even created the promos that way. So I'm all dressed and it's like 5-10 minutes to 3, and I'm thinking David's going to be here, and he's like, "I'll see you at 7." I said, "Ooh, oopsie, I'm way early." So Spirit, I'm looking in the camera and I'm talking to Spirit, and they're like, you know, I haven't gone live. Aside from my interviews that I do, I haven't gone live and just chatted with everybody in a while. And because I've been cocooning and evolving, you know how we do. And anyway, so I'm like, there I am, all made up, in my dress, in my clothes. I'm like, okay, I'm meant to do this. I knew it immediately. I knew it was meant to be, right? So so I'm on camera, I'm talking to everybody. And then I remember I gotten a gift today from a beautiful viewer named Bonnie, who was kind enough to send me some wild owl feathers about 6 months ago. Anyway, so, by the way, as I'm getting dressed, I'm putting on this, and I thought, that's odd. I've never, ever been drawn to that. In 2.5 years of live streaming, I've never worn this particular top. I opened the box on camera, just knowing faithfully that, you know, Spirit's with me, and I'm not going to be terribly surprised in a bad way. And I open it up, and there's this beautiful, I don't know if you can see that. Beautiful. See the sunflowers?
Yep.
Look at the butterfly on the top. Now, you really, unfortunately, you can't see the sequins, but it's all made of sequins. Pardon my slightly messy corner over there. All made of, look what I'm wearing. David, hang on, where is it? Right there. What? Sparkly butterfly. What? Isn't that amazing? I mean, I've had this thing for a long time. It's been sitting in my closet doing nothing. And today I had to wear it. There was no other option.
All sunflowers and butterflies in your world.
Oh, sunflowers and butterflies. I mean,
Florida, so you got good weather, at least, right?
Say that again?
You're in Florida, so you have good weather, right?
I am in Florida. It's beautiful. It's actually cold. Not cold, but
yeah,
cool.
it's chilly here too. I'm in Southern California. I'm watching the sunset over the mountains right now. It's beautiful out there. But it's chilly here. I'm out in the desert, so this time of year we get chilly at night, and then we get snow on top of the mountains, which is really cool.
That's really cool. I have not been to California yet. I've heard amazing things
it's
about
magical
it.
Here. I've lived in Florida for 12 years, and I like Florida, but I love California. It's just magical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I've been told by people, not recently, but I've been told by people.
Despite what you hear on the news, it's actually wonderful here.
Oh, I don't watch the news anyway.
Oh yeah, well the news paints
a
horrible place, and trust me, it's not. It's a wonderful place.
No, I bet it would be an amazing place.
Yeah, good energy here for sure.
Awesome. I've heard. I've been told by people that you seem like somebody who would live in California. Me, I'm like, okay, and that was long before I had a clue. I didn't know anybody in California at the time. Now I understand. That's a higher. It seems like a high vibrational. This could be a total stereotype, but the people that I've connected with are generally higher in vibration. They're into healthier things. They're into spirituality and open-mindedness. At least the ones I've encountered, which of course
it's pretty woo out here for sure, but it's not all that. There's everything here, just like everywhere else. But it's geographically, it's just a beautiful place. It's interesting people. Super high cost of living, and there's a reason for that because everybody wants to live here. So that's part of the gig.
I love that. Facebook user, and I don't see the name, says Palm Spring Rocks.
Change my speakers. I'm hearing feedback there. I think that's me that's doing that. So have you been to Casadega, Florida?
So interesting that you just said that. I live about 45 minutes away. That's it. I've never been there yet. But for Christmas, with my friend Diane and I, we just talked about it the other day. We're going to go to Casadega and spend the day there and see if there's like a tour or something like that.
I would say, unless it's because it's tiny,
that's what she
people
said.
Don't know about it. It's a little diamond in the rough. And there are mediums that are in Casadega in the village, and then there's a lot of other things that are outside of that. It gets touristy when you get outside it. It's not big. It's nothing like Sedona or anything like that because nobody knows about it. But I discovered my ability to channel in Casadega, and I went to see a psychic. Her name was Hazel Burley. I don't know if she's still practicing or not. She's elderly. She was quite elderly 20 years ago when I met her, and she was the person that told me that I was a channel. And the day that I went to see her, I was walking. I got there early, being the type A person that I am. I get everywhere early, right? I'm there early, and I'm walking around. It's a tiny little place, and I'm walking around, and I round this corner, and I see this church and this little pond, and realized that I'd had this recurring dream throughout my life of being in this space with a church and a pond. And it wasn't even the storybook version of a church. It was like a strip mall kind of church. But I'd had this vision of walking up behind it with this little pond and realized that I was in my dream, that Casadega is what I've been dreaming about. And you can feel the energy there. It's a very cool place. It's interesting that it's not more commercialized. I don't think it's become more. I don't hear about it from anybody, but I wrote about it in my book, and people have emailed me about it over the years since I published the book about Casadega, wanting to know where it is and all of that. So it's a very special place to me, and that's right there in Florida. I used to live in Orlando, and it was about 20, 30 minutes from where I lived in Orlando. It's a cool little place. Yeah.
I can't wait to go. I can't.
Yeah. So I would maybe look into making an appointment to see somebody while you're there. Just follow your guidance. But there used to be a bookstore there, and the bookstore is probably a good source to know where to go. I think there was some sort of people maybe exploiting it a little bit. That's but if you get your vibe high, set a good intention, you're going to land in the right experience. So it'll be good.
I'll let you know. I'm here. Can you hear me? Do you have feedback?
I did a moment ago, but I don't now.
Maybe mine's too loud. Let me lower this a little bit. Maybe that'll be better.
T-Bird. Hi, T-Bird.
Maria Sanchez. Hello.
My first car was a T-Bird, so that's special to me too.
I understand. Make this a little bit louder so I can hear you better. All right. Are we ready to, what do you think? Is this stream ready to rock and roll?
Let's do it.
All right, cool. So nice. I like chatting with you too,
They're far more interesting.
If you just had like two heads, I could talk to David on the stream at the same time. That'd be cool. We could have a whole community chat.
So this is the point where I always invite everybody to take a little moment of silence with me. Do a little meditation, quiet your mind, set an intention to get everything that you want and need from the stream. If you have questions, you can type those in, and C. Meagan will read them for you. The stream does have a way of answering things that are not asked, but it's always helpful if you ask to start the ball rolling. I'm sure you've got questions as well. So I am just going to bring them in and let you all take it from there. We are here.
Welcome, stream. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I know you're there because I feel you. I feel your energy. Like immediately, I'm like, they're here. It's very kind of you to be here with us today on this auspicious occasion. I'm really excited. And I did speak with David about this, but I figured let me just start with you, if I may, and just ask you about today. What is special, if anything, about today from your broader perspective?
You raise a very good point, and in that, as David was sharing before we dropped in, the thing that makes the day special is your collective focusing on the special aspects of it. The flow of energy is forever taking you all on this magical journey that we call polarity, meaning this magical journey of your flow from high to what you often consider low vibration. But we very much want you all to know that there's truly no real low vibration. There is source connected consciousness, and there is less than that. But the only thing that makes the low distasteful to you all is your own judgment of it. You have been told that it is dark energy, or that it is bad, or that it is your negative creation time. We have used those very words. But understand that your negative creations serve a purpose. Your unwanted creations are there to serve as the launch pad for your next new positive creation, your evolution, your solutions, all of these things that you savor so much. And it's important for you to understand in hearing our words that all of those solutions, all of that evolution, all of that expansion is available to you in your next trip up. And the expansion occurs in the trip up, not simply residing in the high vibration and parking yourselves there. And notice that no matter what you do, there is no parking yourselves there in that static space indefinitely. That your raising of your vibration takes a bit of effort.
That was my question. My next question.
Go ahead with your next question, and we will continue with this thread.
Actually, it was that. It was about asking you about staying, because I know you can't stay, because I can be there often in that high vibrational state, and when I'm there, and some days it just feels like, oh my gosh, like I know I am a magnet for abundance. I know I am abundance. I know everything is working out for me. I know it all, right? Because consciously I know it all, but now certain times when I raise my vibration, all of me knows it. It's not just I know it theoretically, but there are times when it is more challenging to get up here. And I guess what I'm asking, not really sure what I'm asking. Okay, so the why of it is because we need the contrast for growth. Am I right about that?
The purpose of any physical environment, and of course in this case we are speaking of planet Earth and the collective consciousness of humanity, the purpose is creation. And when you are in your what we refer to as your completed state of pure positive energy, that is a luscious way to be, in that you want and need for nothing. You are pure love in that state. That is what you may refer to as the core of source energy. That is where we reside. But it is not expansive energy, because there is no need there. There is no desire there. Everything is met there. And when you drop your consciousness into a physical environment and expressing yourself as a singular strand of source consciousness, because you are all part of that which we are, you are coming into a physical environment of contrast. And you are very much desiring from that higher perspective of pure positive to drop in to a consciousness that is overshadowed by, in the case of humanity, an ego consciousness of not knowing your true, eternal, abundant nature, and dropping into a scenario that is going to, from the onset, present some challenges for you. The developing as a fetus in the womb presents challenges. The birthing process presents challenges. Certainly, life beyond birth presents numerous challenges. And your soul's desire is to move through these challenges and have a unique one-off experience. And as infinite as you all are, as infinite as the universe is, every expression in physical is a unique one-off experience. There is no other experience like that which you are manifesting. And your experience, the judgment of it as positive or negative, is all a human perspective judgment, just as the judgment of everything that's happening on planet Earth is a human judgment.
That's true.
We are not in judgment of any of it, for we understand that you are all expressions of that which we are, and there is nothing going on your planet that can end that which you are. There's nothing going on here on planet Earth where you are expressing yourselves that will stop you from being. It is all positive. The cat entering the frame is positive.
She's a good girl.
The cat is wanting to say hello to us.
Definitely.
It is all positive. There is nothing negative that is going on. In the message that we are spreading for all of humanity, but certainly not all of humanity is ready to hear this. Those of you that have manifested your path to this interaction are, and that's why you are here. The message that we are wishing to share is to see it all as expansive, to see it all as positive, to see the dissolution of the relationship, or the unwanted diagnosis, or the empty bank account, or the added pounds, or whatever it is that you're experiencing as tools that are there to serve you via your own manifestation, to serve your expansion, because the solving of any of these things is the solving of them vibrationally first. And that vibrational solving occurs in your appreciation of them. When you learn to meet your obstacles in joy and appreciate them, they will be solved one way or another. And then the how is not necessarily your work. The how manifests for you magically in the raising of your vibration and appreciation of them. And you can prove this to yourselves. You can teach yourselves. You can retrain yourselves if need be to begin meeting your obstacles in joy and seeing them for the gifts that they truly are, and understanding that every manifestation is your manifestation. This does not mean that you are manifesting anything because you deserve it, or because you are owed it, or because you are desiring something that is unwanted specifically. None of you are desiring the extra pounds. None of you are desiring the unwanted diagnosis. None of you are desiring the empty bank account. However, when you manifest these things, your option is to allow them to send you racing down your spiral to a place where you do not want to be, that does not feel good to you. And your indication of being in a space that you do not want to be in is something that is not feeling good to you.
I just thought of something. Thank you. So a few years ago, I guess 2016-17, I was diagnosed with stage 4 lymphoma. And that turned out to be my greatest teacher, the catalyst for my biggest expansion. It felt horrible. Horrible getting that diagnosis. I thought, oh my God, that was it. But you know what, though? At first it felt horrible, Stream, but then I felt relieved. And I'm not really even sure I understand that yet. I actually felt like relief, like wanting to sing in the shower. Like, I'm not exactly sure why. Is that something normal that people go through? Was it just me? Like, I'm looking forward to going home, which I'm clearly staying for a long time. But I guess I'm not really sure what I'm asking here. I'm just going to give it to you and see what you have to say.
You hold an intentionality towards solutions. It is your nature to want to solve.
Yeah, that's true.
And your higher intention was solution. And your intention for solution was stronger than your fear. So your intention for solution guided you unknowingly back up your spiral, because the solution was being up your spiral.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You are all as magical as you allow yourselves to be naturally. We speak of learning and learning tools and doing some work and all of these things, The learning of the tools and the doing of the work is actually unlearning all of the limiting beliefs and limiting thoughts that you are all trained to think. And you're all on different paths in regards to learning that. We also want you all to understand that this is not a one-size-fits-all universe, and you are not in a one-size-fits-all environment. So there is no getting it wrong. There is no wrong way to be. There is no wrong solution to that diagnosis. We are here offering guidance to a true solution to any diagnosis, which is finding appreciation for it and setting an intention for the best possible outcome and making your work being in high appreciation of all that is and allowing whatever is next to manifest for you. And it will. But not every human being is going to have that same reaction. You are very well aware that diagnosis can be delivered, and there are human beings that will race down their spiral and stay there and not allow themselves to go out and stay in that mindset of the victim mentality of, why did this happen to me? Why me? This is terrible. This is awful. This is the worst thing ever. I know that it's not going to end well. And that ends up being the path that is taken. And we are not here to create victims or blame victims. We are here to highlight the fact that you all create your own reality, and taking ownership of that creation is an extremely transformative process. When you begin to look at everything as your creation, you then own the power to shift focus and thus solve and evolve beyond and through any experience. And in the judgments that you are all taught are all human judgments. And your lives can be this journey of detuning all of the humanized judgments and humanized lower vibrational thoughts that you all absorb in your environment. Your environment is one of contrast. And you have moved through this very long period of being told that you're victims, being told that it's not your fault and that someone else is asserting themselves and causing you harm. That is all over your airwaves. And you can all see the results of that.
Yes.
And you can also see the demeanor of those who are not living that reality. The demeanor of those who feel empowered, who do not feel like victims, who feel like they are in control of their reality, regardless of external conditions. And the step one of all of that is to meet whatever it is that you've manifested in joy and appreciation, always. And finding that appreciation is very opposite of how humanity by and large operates. But if you trace back all of the things that you discern as not your preference, you will always trace that back to fear and judgment every single time.
Okay. Thank you for that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So we have some questions. Kim Siegel asks, I want to ask, will the transition, hang on, I need my glasses, I forgot. I'm like, why am I looking like this? I want to ask, will the transition to 4 or 5D be all at once, or a gradual thing? Some people think all at once and others think gradually. What does the stream say?
Understand that these labels of 3D, 4D, 5D, more or less than that, all of these are human terms, human created terms to describe a perspective of a bubble of reality that is created from consciousness. And you all hold the power to shift your bubble of reality by shifting your perspective of everything that is. The trip from 3D to 5D is not a collective consciousness trip that you are all going to experience on your planet. You can dial back in to this 1 year from this date in your earthly time and see that to be true. See that this ascension from 3D to 5D is not your planet ascending to some utopian paradise where you're all suddenly agreeing with one another. The ascension is more human beings turning the news off, ignoring all of the fear-based teachings of your planet, questioning all of the traditions of control. You have many conditions of control around you, your government, your organized religions, your traditions, your cultures. There are elements of control woven into every state of being on your planet, every belief system, every human created belief systems, certainly. And you're moving beyond the belief in those and the buying into those and learning to zoom out. So your ascension is your version of, because you are all expressing yourselves as independent strands of source consciousness. The reality that you're experiencing is your creation.
Yes.
That is a bit difficult to understand because you are experiencing something that seems very real to you as a physically manifested being. And there is nothing wrong with that. We are not guiding you away from your physical reality. We are guiding you to find more joy in your physical reality and understand that your ascension from whatever dimension you believe you're in to the next level is your own perspective of what you are experiencing. There are some on this broadcast that have interacted with our teachings enough that have already experienced that. There are beings that interacting in this very interaction that have experienced a movement from what you would call 3D to 5D, and they are existing on a higher plane while still having the same physical body, using the same tools, but using different vibrational tools, a different perspective, a different level of connectedness as far as seeing the world from a state of non-judgment and non-fear. That is your next dimension.
Love it. Kim says, got it. Thank you. Thank you, stream. That was awesome. Awesome. WC, and thank you for watching on YouTube, guys. I see you there now, and I see everybody in Spirituality Gone Wild and High Vibrational Mastery, the group, and everybody. I just want to say hello. And I can see, well, now I can see all the comments here, so we're good. So WC says, we have an epidemic of drug addicts that are loved. What did this solstice mean for them with the realities splitting?
The polarity of a physical environment is an ongoing state of being. The polarity serves expansion. The polarity is not going to go away. The ones who are expressing themselves in a human experience that are carrying around perhaps a label of addict understand that all of these labels and separation of humans into different categories and things of this nature, that is all what you would call 3D thinking. That is all very human created thinking. And those that are seeking separation from what they are perceiving as a distasteful reality and utilizing substances of any kind, not just drugs, alcohol, food, television, pornography, you could all make yourselves addicted to anything, as most of you are well aware. And that addiction is a shifting of focus out of the current reality into something that is a distraction from. And the quickening of the energy for a while will cause more polarity. But what you're seeing in this ascension is more beings exiting that typical human path of templated living and embracing the polarity. The templated living is the thing that most often is causing the addiction to distractions. We label all of it distractions. If you're addicted to money, if you're addicted to sex, if you're addicted to food, if you're addicted to heroin, all of these things are simply a distraction. If you're addicted to social media, David was speaking earlier today about the Instagram life, where people want to put out this idea of perfection, the perfect body, the perfect home, the perfect meal, the perfect relationship. All of these ideas of perfection are not the nature of your planet, yet you all seek expansion, and you tend to label your expansion the heading toward perfection, the creating a better body, the creating a bigger bank account, the creating the perfect business. It is your nature to want expansion. So the desire for perfection is not misplaced, but the dependence on that perfection for your joy is the very thing that's holding you away from your joy. Therefore, many believe that the receiving of perfection or the achieving of perfection is not possible. Then they become addicted to something that is a distraction from that, their own judgment of self. So the detuning of judgment of all others on your planet, including the judging of the ones that you may label addicts, will detune the judgment of self. So allowing all to have their experience, allowing those that are choosing a path of being addicted to drugs or anything else to be in high vibration around that, meaning high appreciation of them for the path that they're on without the need for them to change. That's the magic. That's the ascension.
I love that. So great. I was doing a reading earlier, and I shared pretty much the same, different words, but same concept there. I love that. And so so I can ask you anything, right?
Indeed.
Thank you. All right. So I guess what I want to ask about is, okay, so on our planet Earth recently, we've been having signs, different things that are unusual. Monoliths that you're probably aware of. The Vatican put out this Christmas nativity scene. There's a person with a space helmet on, and very, very like Sumerian, spacey looking, and that's the Vatican. And so and with all of these, now, I mean, I'm psychic anyway, but I'm seeing different things and hearing. I know that, but what about these physical things that are, as far as physical, what physical really is, right? Empty space. But what are these things here? Did humans put them here? Are they like a multidimensional thing to desensitize us, to get us closer to disclosure? I don't know. Maybe I'm out on a limb here, but I want to give that to you and talk about that, if you don't mind.
You have all manifested your paths in physical at what is indeed a very special time, because you have created enough technology to bring yourselves together via your technology in a way that's very akin to collective consciousness. Mm-hmm. You can all jump on a device that most of humanity now has some access to, and use platforms such as this to communicate in ways that humanity has never communicated before in a physical way. Mm-hmm. Certainly you are all a collective consciousness, and you are all connected, and you are all communicating in a certainly higher than physical way. But now you're bringing the 3D reality, the physical, into that. And that is a very, very special transformation on your planet. And that special transformation, in a nutshell, is bringing you all together to compare notes like never before. And you're all getting together and understanding that, wait a minute, perhaps we don't need the tools of organized religion telling us who to love and how to be and what to think and all of these things. Perhaps we do not need an organized government governing over us and telling us that we have borders and that we belong to one country and not another, that we're not all humanity of planet Earth. Perhaps we do not need the social media reality of what our bodies are supposed to look like, or our homes are supposed to look like, or our bank accounts are supposed to look like. Perhaps we do not need any of this. Perhaps we can question all of it. And the collective questioning of all of it caused the fracturing of it. And you're seeing that occur in real time. You are seeing cracks in all of these institutions, your policing, your monarchy. This is a very exciting time that you are all creating for yourselves. And here you are in it, co-creating it, and all of your hands are in the clay. And your hands are in the clay creating what's next. And the creation of what's next is opening yourselves up to your eternal nature, opening yourselves up to your multidimensional nature, understanding that it's not all out there, that it's all within. And all of these magical things that you are conjuring on your planet are of your conjuring and will continue to be conjured. And you will continue to see more things that were at one time considered the out there, weird, esoteric, however you want to label it, including this, becoming more mainstream. You have more human beings stepping out now than ever before in the recorded history of humanity, certainly that you're aware of, speaking what you call God. Because you are all that. You are all that. You are all source. You all have your version of this. The only thing special about David is that he had an upbringing that allowed this to manifest in such a way, and an ego that allows him to share it. You all have this. This is why when you release fear and you release judgment, this resonates on such a high level with all of you. You all understand that you are source and that you are not being judged by anyone other than yourself. Because even your allowing of external judgment is your own judgment. If you are not judging yourself, you are not in the least bit interested in the judgment of others.
Mm.
And then it has no impact.
Yes. 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 Exactly. Exactly. Oh, I love what you're saying. Robin McGuire, thank you for your question. And she's asking, what is God?
We have just described that in great detail.
And that God is everything, right? Now, so let me ask you this, and thank you for your question, and thank you for your answer. So is everything consciousness? So it's like my thing for my wrist or my mouse and is everything consciousness?
Everything is of consciousness. The physical rendition of thought is a byproduct of thought.
Say one more time, please.
Any physical manifestation is a byproduct of thought. The true creation is in thought form first and shall be, but the allowing of the actual physical creation is in the belief of. So anything that you can bring yourself to believe is creation and shall be full-blown physical reality. The timing of it is up to your vibrational flow. This is why we speak of polarity so much, this vibrational flow, because you come up with an idea and you trust it and you believe it, and it is. And then your vibration drops due to polarity, and you revisit that idea and you put the brakes on vibrationally. You question, you doubt, you fear, you become impatient. That is the universal process of creation. We are not even guiding you away from that, because the universal process of creation, this vibrational flow, is intended to create a more perfect version of. So the idea of just being in high vibration and just creating everything that you want. Notice you all try it. Notice it does not work very well. Because the big things that you want to create, and they're only big because of your making them big. The big things that you wish to create take longer to create because you are revisiting this topic during vibrational flow. Up here, you believe it. Down here, you doubt it. Up here, it's on its way. Down here, the brakes are on. Up here, it's coming around. It's coming together. The vibration drops. It starts to unravel. It starts to splinter. The vibration has a rift. The new relationship has a fracture all of a sudden. The new business has a roadblock. The unexpected expense rolls in. All of these things that are unwanted pop up. And you are all trained to have a step one reaction of fear. And that step one reaction of fear keeps most of you heading from step one back to step zero, back to step one, in this never-ending loop of non-creation and non-progress. Those of you who create, allow yourselves to move through step one, past the fear, the anger, the disbelief, the feeling of victimization, up your spiral to where the solutions are. You described that speaking of your diagnosis at the onset of this interaction. Step one, you felt amazing. You got a diagnosis that was not your preference. Boom, you went down. You being solution-oriented, zoomed out without even knowing what that meant at that time, zoomed out to a higher perspective of letting go. And the solutions came.
Yeah, that was quite amazing. quite amazing. And at the time, I don't know, whatever. I was going to question myself, but it's coming out. So, at the time that I was diagnosed with the stage 4 cancer, I had also changed my whole life and moved to a place where I'd never been, and I left behind I didn't know that the term low vibration at the time, but that's what everything that no longer served me, which was everybody I ever knew. So I was all by myself in a brand new place and diagnosed with stage 4. I was like, oh, that really stinks. I wasn't happy at first, but it was the most freeing experience. That was just I felt really drawn to say that.
The magic of the experience is that you were diagnosed as being at the end, and you had no option then to zoom out and go up in vibration. If you were diagnosed as something that was early stage, you could have perhaps manifested something much worse because you would have spun around down there worrying about the next stage. You were told there were no more stages. Therefore, you had no option but to go up.
That's true.
For you.
Yeah, no, I know. I feel what you're saying. Or leave. Yeah, I could have left. I knew I wasn't going to, though. I really did. I knew I wasn't going to. It's really incredible what we can accomplish in this world and how some of our absolute greatest teachers for expansion and our greatest well-being are some of the absolute worst things in the whole that you could ever imagine.
It is all that. There is nothing happening on your planet that is going to end that which you are. The taking it so seriously is the thing that holds you away from your joy. But when you begin seeing yourselves as eternal beings, and you are, and innately you know this is why you are all seeking. You refer to yourself as a seeker. You are all seeking. You all know that you are much more than this physical body. You are much more than the judgments that are hung on you by your society. You feel the limitation in that. You feel pushed down and controlled, and that is not your nature. No. Not one of you. You can surrender to that if you wish, or you can zoom out and believe beyond it. And instead of trying to claw your way out of it, allow the journey to be the source of joy. That's why it's not about manifesting every single thing that you want. You can have anything that you want. Anything is possible. But the journey, the exploration, the experiencing of the negative, the trauma even, are great gifts. And when you truly zoom out to your God perspective, which you all have access to, it is there all the time. Your ego, your humanness serves a purpose, but it very much serves to separate you from that, to have this unique one-off human experience. It is your co-creative partner, but learning to balance your ego consciousness and your soul consciousness, where they are operating in harmony, that's where the magic is. When your soul is calling you forward and telling you that you're worthy, and your ego is allowing you to believe it, and understanding that in your worthiness, you are in no way superior. That is balance.
Ooh, I have an interesting question that just popped in. Thank you very much. So mental illness, where does that go in the future? And let me just preface that for a moment by saying that I spent a lot of years of this incarnation in this body in suicidal depressions. And I did try to leave several times. I didn't know what I know now. I didn't know any, although I always was seeking, I feel like I'm talking to a lot of people because we didn't fit in. And this world seems so cruel and harsh, and all these rules, and things didn't resonate, and the right things that you knew were wrong were right. And it was so confusing. And then, so what I want to ask you, may I stream, is that, like, moving forward, are people going to not be labeled and slapped with diagnoses and handed 10,000 bottles of pills to cure something that's really just them not understanding that the true nature of reality is something that they never were taught and they haven't remembered yet?
Notice that more and more and more are moving to that space in real time, in 3D reality, in your current time. And the more contrast your lives deliver to you, your pandemic, your recessions, your political strife, your racial tension, all of these things that you find distasteful are causing this fracturing. And in low vibration, the polarity kicks in, and you see human beings racing to their respective corners and assigning to a set of beliefs that seem absolute because they think there is safety and security there, either end of the spectrum, but it's polarized. Those of you that are swimming into the gray matter in between and allowing yourselves to zoom out and understand that everything is vibrational, everything is energetic, that every experience truly has value, that all of this judgment and fear is something that you can release. And in your releasing of that, and more of you moving into this gray area, if you will, understanding the nature of vibration, understanding that you are your own creators, and watching your institutions of control crumble all around you. And we are guiding you not to fear this. We are guiding you to understand that everything is energetic. And energy moves in such a way that there is not this massive instantaneous shift that occurs. You have not seen that on your planet. You are not going to see that on your planet. Anything that is instantaneous was never instantaneous at all. There was always a momentum and a build up toward it. And then something happened that seemed magnificent. Yet whenever these magnificent events occur on your planet, you always start tracing them back and looking for the origin of the root. And you can trace them back a very long time in linear years. And understand that these instantaneous events that seem so seismic are always overcome that they are always something that turns into a positive for all of you, even if it's not in a length of time that you prefer. The length of time is perfection, because as consciousness shifts and your belief systems accept new things and new realities, and you all zoom out and learn to use a new set of tools to work within the environment in which you've created, then things get really, really good for you. You come to understand the meaning of clarity. You ask what the meaning of life is. Clarity is the true meaning of life. Understanding your nature, understanding your purpose as a physically manifested being, and which is absolutely an expression of that which we are. You are absolutely here to experience all of it. And the diagnosis and the labels and the disorders and all of these things are human creation. You're not in a one-size-fits-all world. There is not a perfect body. There is not a perfect set of healthy conditions. There are some who physically look very, very healthy and mentally and emotionally would be labeled otherwise. But the labeling of creates the idea of illness, and creates the idea of something is wrong, that there is something wrong about you and right about everyone else. Mm-hmm. That's the separation that is occurring in these diagnoses and these labels. And you do not have to buy into any of them. David simply says he's not participating in certain things. He does not participate in politics. He does not participate in recession. And his reality does not include any aspect of that. He is not participating in the pandemic.
Me neither. I love that.
And that does not mean that he is not wearing a mask in public.
Yeah, I understand.
With the flow for him means wearing a mask in public, but not giving it any power. Yeah. Because the not wearing of the mask in defiance is giving it as much power as the wearing of the mask in fear.
Yes. Yep. I totally get it. I love this. This is such a great talk. And I don't know if you read her mind or my mind, but the meaning of life was a question, and maybe you read it off the screen. I don't know. That was quite amazing. Not that I'm shocked, but I mean, it's still cool. You are the stream. So what about Edgar Jamal Bradley asks, how does one navigate relationships, especially romantic ones, with those who are maybe not as far along in their spiritual journey as the other? Good question.
The nature of relationships in the process of creation is just like any other topic. You have vibrational flow. When you first meet, there's an attraction. That attraction drives your vibration up. It's very high. There's a physical attraction. There's an emotional attraction. You are only seeing the good, and you're looking for common ground in that state. Inevitably, you're going to move through vibrational flow on the topic of the relationship. And in the moving through vibrational flow, the vibration is going to drop. And when the vibration drops, you start seeing other aspects of the being, and you have choices to make in that state of appreciating the other aspects of the being or not appreciating the other aspects of the being. And this is where many relationships cease to be early on. Some take a very long time to reach that state. But it's our promise to you that you are all independent strands of consciousness. You are all here on your independent journey. You are not going to find another being on your planet that you are going to vibrate in harmony with at all times. That was never your intention in coming into physical. And anyone that is believing that is creating a set of circumstances for themselves where they are choosing to vibrate in harmony with another being. But that is not your true nature to do that. You're all on your own independent vibrational paths. So the very best that you can do is stand in appreciation of the one that you are with. And as long as you are appreciating them, and as long as you are vibrationally aligned, allowing your relationship to be as it is. But if you are on what you perhaps label as a spiritual journey, and you're finding yourself walking down a vibrational path of what you may call enlightenment that the other is not on, that appreciation needs to be mutual for harmony. In other words, if they are allowing you to have your experience and you are allowing them to have theirs, you are going to find harmony. But if you are needing them to agree with you and needing them to understand you, you are likely setting yourselves up for disharmony.
Yes.
So allowing them to be on their journey and asking that of them as a set point, if you will, for where you would want a harmonious relationship to exist. Because needing to be right is a very early stage of what you would perhaps label a spiritual journey. That dogmatic aspect of any spiritual teaching, that this is the only way and there's no other way, even though you're all independent strands of consciousness and you're all on unique journeys and you have all been and continue to be endless other things, to have that expectation for a one-size-fits-all solution to anything in your environment is going to set you up for failure, if you will. It's going to separate you from joy. You are going to find yourselves disappointed in that expectation in humanity. The very best that you can do for yourselves is to detune the judgment. You are all discerners of preference. So in that regard, you are all judgmental beings. You are here to experience a physical expression of source. And the things that you appreciate, anything that you appreciate in physical, is an expression of that which we are. It's an expression of the source version of you that you have manifested for your experiencing. Your belief in your ability to possess it, to experience it, to have it, to taste it, to hold it, to touch it, to be it, is it within your alignment, your belief of it, and your belief of your worthiness of it. But when you separate yourself from that, that's when you feel stress. There's something that you want to experience as a physical being that you do not yet believe that you can experience, and you feel stress. And that stress is a source of separation from our energy. That stress is a source for all of your ailments. That stress is something that holds you away from joy. And you do not have to hold yourselves away from joy, ever. Even in low vibrational territory, when you flow through that, your non-judgment of that period will bring you right back to joy.
I love everything you're saying. I don't see the name. Okay, now it's got to be John, because it's not really a question, but I have to share it. It says, Gerald Ann Peterson, Heatherdale, we finally get to go to an outdoor rock concert nude. Hippie. But it must have been John, because somebody's saying amen to that. So welcome, guys. Now let me see. Someone is asking, I don't see the name. I'm trying to ask, do you remember me? My quest at times is to find those that knew me. The seeker, as you say, I know I'm being guided to spaces such as this to find myself and to find others I knew.
The knowing of you is not a human 3D physical knowing of you. The knowing of you is the vibrational knowing of you. And we are part of all of you. So there is no knowing or not knowing in that regard. The human interaction, the our message flowing through David and connecting with you vibrationally in an interaction such as this is a different level of knowing of you. That is knowing of you as you are as a human being in this vibrational moment, if you will. And your moment of linear time is a perception of yours, certainly, but the vibrational moment, the timestamp that is created in this interaction is a resonance, and that resonance is a knowing. This is why when you tune in and dial into what we are offering, and it resonates very highly, and it opens your mind up, and you feel the vibration flow through you of our energy, you understand that you are in vibrational vicinity of that which we are offering. You're in a high vibrational space, or you are very, very much desiring to be in a high vibrational space if you are here. And notice that all of humanity is not here in this interaction.
Because
you're all on different paths. And we are not guiding you to judge those who are not here. We are guiding you to a higher level of understanding. Those who are not here are on their own paths, having their own journey, their own experience. And those of you that are here have manifested your path here because there are offerings here that you are ready for.
Wow. Thank you for that stream. Earl Lewis asks, when we return to source transition, will we immediately know all? Good question.
When you transition, that which you call the death experience, you return to your state of oneness with our energy, which is indeed omnipresent and omniscient. And it is far beyond your human consciousness. Your intention in being in physical form as a human being is to not have all of that awareness, so that you can come and savor and experience that life as a human being expressed on planet Earth in linear time. This experience is an experience that you have created for yourselves that is a tiny strand of all that you are. And it has value in the not knowing all of those things. But certainly when you return to your completed state, you are all knowing and all seeing as we are, as you are part of us.
I love that. Thank you for that question. Thank you for your answer. Someone is asking, and I apologize, I don't see your name, but do spirits communicate by name?
Is a very good question in that we do not have a name. Mm-hmm. There are many entities that are shared by human beings that have earthly names, very often male names. And notice that is all a human egocentric creation of the humanization of the energetic realm. The energetic realm, we do not communicate with words. We are coming and flowing through David, utilizing his intellect and vocabulary to interact with all of you in a way that you can truly connect at a 3D level and then move well beyond that very quickly, as you've all experienced. But the idea of an energetic realm entity being a singular consciousness entity is the humanization of. We are not numeric. You cannot judge how many we are. We have jokingly stated that we are more than 1,000, but we are not quantifiable that way. Nor are we gendered, nor do we have a human name, nor do we have an English name. The naming of all of that is human creation. We will dip a bit further into this, though, and certainly share that there is nothing wrong with your identifying the energetic realm as Archangel Michael or Isis or any of these things. We understand that you have created these likenesses so that when you are experiencing the energetic realm, you can give it a human identity to identify with it, relate to it on a different level. That is a tool. That is a tool that some of you may use for your entire lifetime. It is a tool that some of you may never dip into using whatsoever. It is a tool that some of you may use for a period of time and then move on from the need of such. There is no judgment around any of that, however. You are free to use any human-created tools that you wish to use. Understand that if they are bringing you joy, if they are bringing you clarity, if they are delivering to you your version of abundance, then there's no wrong. There is no judgment in any of that. So we are not saying that you are wrong to believe that. We are simply being very, very clear that the energetic realm is consciousness, and it is not physical, and it is not human-like, and it is not quantifiable. It is not male nor female. We hear you often speak of masculine energy and feminine energy and calling it divine, believing that there is some divine gendering of the universe. The divinity of it is the non-gender aspect of it. We are not gendered. We understand that we are flowing through what you would consider a male voice and a male body, but we are not gendered whatsoever. We are not even a we. You are experiencing consciousness when you are interacting with us in such a way. But when you are experiencing your own connection to, you have likely absorbed teachings throughout your lifetime, and you have been told that there is a God, and there is an Allah, or there is a Jesus, or there is an Archangel Michael, or Anthony, or all of these different things, and you feel that reality. But what you're doing in that moment is you are taking that teaching and utilizing your imagination to bridge the gap from your human being to the energetic realm where we reside, where that which we are. That is a very human thing to do, and there is nothing wrong with that, to use your imaginations to bridge the gap, understanding that your imaginations are the most powerful creative tool in the universe. It is the humanity version of the most powerful creative tool in the universe is your imagination. So saying that something is just in your imagination and that it's not quote unquote real, if we were going to judge anything, we would tell you that is highly inaccurate, because absolutely anything that you create in your imagination is real. But the one who believes it's not, for them it is not, for they are not trusting their own creative power. That is where the non-judgment comes back in. There is nothing wrong with the one who doesn't believe. But you have all manifested your path to these teachings because you know there's more. You feel the source in you. You feel our energy in you. You feel the realness of all of that. You know it. You is that.
I use that.
You use that.
I use that. Wow, that was awesome. And you actually just addressed another question that was from before, which I had forgotten. So thank you for that as well. Now, Melanie J. Long asks, oh, John, you're so funny. He's talking about mozzarella cheese. So Melanie J. Long asks, what does the stream do between channelings or spirits do? What do you do in your free time, stream?
We have no free time. We are original thought. We are the source of all creation. We are the source of all that is. We do not need free time. We are consciousness. We are in operation at all times. We understand that there is a bit of cheekiness in the question, but we do not have hobbies. We do not take time off. We do not need time off. We are not physical. Those are all physical aspects of a physical reality. And we guide all of you to more of it, to more downtime, to more time going inward. We are certainly not guiding you to go spend your days on a mountaintop in meditation only, but more quiet time, less screen time, less time arguing, less time fearing, certainly, less time absorbing things that instill fear. You are all free to do any of these things that you want. There's no rules, but if your desire is to be joyful, and we are well aware vibrationally, if you have found your paths here, your desire is to be joyful. So if your desire is to be joyful, it's allowing more of that downtime within you, the more of the connected time. And it's not about necessarily taking days off or trips or vacations. It is taking those many mental moments throughout your day to stop and breathe and appreciate and walk outside and look at the sky and hear the birds chirp and smell the fresh air and appreciate all that is throughout every day, regardless of what your activities are, regardless of what your weather is, regardless of what's going on around you. Finding appreciation for, finding yourselves in a state of fear at the empty bank account or the lack of employment or the pandemic or the coming up holiday with family, whatever it is that you find yourselves dreading. Your dreading of it is creating the bad situation. That's what's holding you away from joy. You're always finding things to appreciate. You're seeking light at the end of the tunnel, and it is our promise to you that that light is always there. After the unwanted diagnosis, you can stand in the shower in appreciation of all that is and feel the healing energy of that and receive it.
Thank you for that. There was, I don't know who's saying it, probably John at this point. Yes, my desire is to enjoy a bends and to appreciate the birds, ocean, and earth and everything. So I have the truly honor and pleasure of interviewing other non-physicals, which is like the coolest thing in my whole life that I totally manifested for myself from sheer desire and allowing. But some of them are spirit guides. So they were physical. And one of them said to me that in response to a similar question, that in his free time, he rides his horse on the beach. This is non-physical. He was in the 1800s alive on this planet. He rides his horse on the beach and he does this or that. And so are there other non-physical energies that do things like that? Did that make any sense? I don't know.
Understand that what you are experiencing, and we know that you are well aware of what you're experiencing, but there is no linear time. Everything that has ever happened and everything that is ever going to happen is simultaneously occurring, and in all of these other dimensions and universes that you all speak of, or you're all in all of it. You are tuned into a reality that feels like planet Earth in the year 2020 in the geographic location where you reside, but you're tuned to that vibration, and that's what you're experiencing. And the belief system, thus the technology that you have at this time, is allowing you to focus singularly on that. But when you're tapping into what's beyond physical, there is no time, there is no space. Being a human being, is far more likely that you're going to be in vibrational alignment with other energies that are human, are human-like, are of your awareness in 3D. So you're going to tap into other people, if you will. other thought forms that were human, that are human, because you understand also that that strand of consciousness is infinite. That strand of consciousness is expressing itself in infinite other physical realities, not singularly as a human being. So you're tapping into it as a human being, is tapping into it as a vibrational alignment to another human energy that still exists. That is why we say there is nothing that's going to end that which you are. You're riding the horse on the beach. If that is where your focus is, will be eternal. For there is no linear time. So when you are tapping into that guide, you are tapping into that energy, and you are filtering it through your mind. And through your mind, you are receiving it as a human being that once lived at this other time, that has this offering for you. You are tapping into the non-physical version of it, but certainly the strand of consciousness that indeed was human.
Yes.
When you read a human being, you understand you're reading the person in front of you and the energy of their loved ones as it relates to them more than the wholeness of what that loved one is, because that's beyond your ability to realize as a physically focused human being. Your mind will not allow you to realize an infinite being in its entirety, but the human strand as it relates to the person that you're giving the reading to, which has the value for them anyway. And as one who is using those abilities for the benefit of others, you understand that all of the benefit is in that relationship.
Yes.
There is no benefit in reading that person and telling them about what their aunt was, who is existing now on another planet, in another universe that you cannot relate to in any way. Notice that all of that otherworldly advice is always humanized, because the otherworldly advice really is of planet Earth. Planet Earth is its own vibration. There are other existences that are infinite, but your awareness is always going to be of Earth, because you are of Earth in this reality.
Okay, so let me ask you this, please. So I'm trying to wrap my head around this, and you forget that expression, forget that whole thought. All right, what I want to ask you is about, so are there lifetimes in, I don't know, other galaxies, other type of beings, whatever, where we are eternally, where the body doesn't die, or is there a body? Or is it just a stream of consciousness? What am I trying to say here? This is really outside of my typical conversation, so I'm just going stretching here. I guess, okay, so I am consciousness, and here I am in this body. One little fragment of all that I really am is in this body, and then there's all of me doing other things in other. You could just tell me if I'm right or wrong or close. So there's all of me doing other things in other lifetimes as different energies experiencing different things, and this is all happening at the same time. Is any of that right? Close? I mean, am I feeling? It's right to me.
Because there is no time. There is no linear time. The linear time, what is beyond physical, is consciousness. Mm-hmm. And consciousness is far more than you even realize as a human being. Because consciousness is all that is. Consciousness is omnipresent and omniscient and never ending. There is no boundary to where consciousness ends. We are consciousness. We are the core of source. But in this case, you are interacting with us through a human filter. The difference between David and many others who channel is that David has set an intention to strip away everything other than source consciousness and universal law. Taking those things and applying them in your human experience holds the most value for you. Understanding what's going on in another realm, as you would identify it, does not hold value for you. You cannot take advice from another planet that is truly another planet and bring it to planet Earth and have it be useful. Those sets of tools are of that environment. Yes. The desire to understand other realms, other planets, other existences is your natural human curiosity. You all understand that you are much more than this. So there is certainly nothing wrong with wanting to know that. But allowing yourselves to desire to go exist there and not fully appreciate all that is of planet Earth and what you are perceiving as your current lifetime. and understanding that anything that has to do with quantity or space is all thought of earth. Wanting to know how many we are and how many lifetimes you live and how many experiences you have to have before you're not physical anymore. That is all very earth-like thinking, what you may call 3D thinking. And that there's some judgment attached to that we are not trying to express. It is expected to you to be of earth. You are of earth. But understand that all of your value and all of your experience and all of your tools are that of earth, because you are of earth in this expression. But you are not truly operating in any sort of linear time. You are having an experience of consciousness that in this experience feels tangible and real to you, because that's how powerful you are. But it is not in linear time. But the expression of yourselves in linear time serves your expansion, in that you grow throughout your processes, or not. And there's truly growth offered in all of it. We have stated many times that there is no getting this wrong. You can be born with terminal cancer and not move beyond the age of 4 or 5 years of age and return to your completed state and receive expansion and receive value in that process. And you will even hear people that knew that child speak of how enlightened they were. That is because you are experiencing a very sophisticated being expressing itself in physical in such a way that they were looking for that type of experience. And the loved ones around them, as sad as they are at the limited time they had with the enlightened being, are more advanced and enlightened for that experience.
Yes.
And very often come to that realization and appreciation of all that was their loved one, their child. You are living in a magical place, and you are all just now scratching the surface at how magical it truly is. And you have created a magical time. So enjoy your linear time and understand that your other expressions of physical are infinite. But you are here to focus on this one. And any recollection of other experiences are always going to be filtered through your human mind. And they're going to be humanized, and they're going to be experiences that you can handle, that you can bring yourselves to believe. Some of you believe that you have existed on other planets. You are not wrong. Some of you can only bring yourselves to believe other lifetimes that are within recorded history, that are things more like what you've seen in the movies. Why is that? That's your mind creating something that you can relate to in this lifetime, because all of the value is in this lifetime, for you in this lifetime. So enjoy this more. Delve into your science fiction, delve into your spiritual teachings, delve into anything that you want to place your hands in. There is no dogma here. There is no judgment. There is no saying that we are the only way and that we are the truth and the light and you must follow us. There is none of that here. We are the source of all creation. We do not need you to worship us or obey us or even believe any of this. It is optional. It is up to you. You are going to have your unique experience regardless. But we are here offering great wisdom if you are ready for it. And we are here offering a set of tools that allow you to find your own unique paths to joy, whatever that looks like for you. And your continual unfolding of what joy means to you is your expansion as a human being and as a consciousness being. That is what you are offering back to the universe, is your creation of the solution, your healing of yourselves, your accepting of yourselves, your learning to love yourselves, whatever you've manifested, whatever body you're in, whatever job you're in, whatever home you're in, whatever is in your garage. Those things are as important as you make them, and there's no judgment from us for whatever you want. Have as many mansions and Lamborghinis and yachts as you desire, but understand that you see some individuals that never have enough. Why is that? That's because they think that one more thing is going to be the thing that finally brings them joy. And they double down on that again and again and again. Yet they don't find the joy. They work themselves to the bone to materialize things, to manifest possessions, and don't enjoy the possessions that they have. If you want some new possession to enjoy, our answer to you is to go enjoy the thing that you have. And is our promise to you that you're expansive by nature, so it's not going to stick you in that thing. But appreciation of what is your path to more, always, on any topic, including love of self. And if we could guide you in this interaction to one thing, it would be to more love of self, regardless of conditions. Because whatever conditions you have manifested for yourselves, we promise you it is your soul's desire to have manifested that for whatever it offers, even if the offering is a path out now. We are not guiding you away from whatever it is you want to experience, your trimmer body, your more vacations, your bigger bank account. Just understand that the joy is in appreciating what is. And then from there, experiencing anything that you desire.
Love it. Love it. This is the best conversation ever. We have a lot of questions. But first I have one, and then I'm going to go to the other questions. So hang on one moment, guys. You're all awesome. So, and it's personal, but it's not, because I feel like it's going to resonate with different people in different ways. So I'm writing a book. I feel like I'm going to be writing several books. But anyway, in the meantime, I'm working on my first one, and I'm sure I've told you before that I've been a student of Abraham for very long time. So I have my own guidance, but whatever. What I'm trying to ask you is this. So do I share, and I guess it's going to be my choice anyway, but I'm going to ask, so should I, there's no should. Oh God, how do I ask a question if I can't keep answering it myself? All right. So like, how in depth do I want to talk about contrast that I've been through? Because I want to help people and I want to connect with them. And I've been through a lot. I mean, I created a heck of a great education for myself, but I don't want to lower people's vibration. I can't lower anybody's vibration. They do that themselves. What am I trying to say? And can you answer this question that I can't seem to form?
You are working your way through it quite very well on your own, but we will share that any tool that you want to use for teaching, if the vibration around it is sharing an experience to then share how you solved it with the intention of being inspiring and sharing tools, there's a very high vibration around that. David shares his life experiences over and over and over again and continues to manifest what would be considered challenges in his life and shares those in real time. Those of you that listen to his podcast have heard him share many times things that he's moving through in his life and how he's using our teachings to solve them. We are not guiding him to perfection. It is not our desire to guide him to perfection. It is not even his desire to achieve perfection any longer. He came to the full realization that the perfection is in the imperfection, the loving what is. So in the sharing of what was and how you moved through it and how you found appreciation for it, and that was the true tool to moving through it, is very helpful, because there are not a lot of teachers that are teaching that. Oh, really? There are teachers that are teaching to push against, to grind, to work harder, to work twice as much, to fight, to battle, to focus on exactly what you don't want, thinking it's somehow going to magically go away. There are even teachers that have claimed this mantle of law of attraction and seek to teach you how to use it. But you're all using it all the time. And in teaching you how to use it, trying to teach you to focus on just what you want and never what you don't. And then you find yourselves frustrated when you find yourselves fearful or find yourselves in what you might call lower vibration, and you're no longer in alignment, and then you're beating yourselves up for that. It is all counterproductive, because if your desire, and we understand that your desire is to be joyous, appreciating the flow, the magic of life, this experience in this polarized environment that is like no other, that you intentionally dropped your consciousness into. And here you are moving along in what you perceive as linear time, having a mix of positive things that you enjoy, seeing a lot of things that you would enjoy if you could manifest them in your thinking, and seeing yourselves experience things that you do not appreciate, do not enjoy, that you have a preference to move away from. That is vibrational flow in a polarized environment, and that is what any physical environment is going to offer a version of. Earth is absolutely its own unique vibration, own unique environment for its own unique experience. So the earthly vibrational flow creates these things that you all experience. But when you begin to zoom out to a higher perspective that you all have access to, you all have access to this perspective, whether you ever choose to share it in written or verbal form or not. You all have this. When you take away fear and you take away judgment and you take away all of those human thoughts and ideas that keep you in control, that keep you on a path that you're assigned to, that never feels right to any of you. When you take all of that fear and judgment away and you really allow yourselves to dream big and you feel really good about it in the moment, understand that whatever it is that you're dreaming, you have created already. The reason it doesn't come so quickly is because your vibration will drop and then you will question. Teaching yourselves to no longer have that questioning of understanding that when your vibration drops, it's just a lower energy period. And that your work down there in that lower vibrational state is not to go and revisit all of the things that you want. Do not try to figure it out down there. That is not your figuring it out space. That is your go find joy space. Appreciate what is space. Appreciate that you have a vibrational flow, because you cannot fully appreciate the up if you do not have the down. We have taken you up and down in this very interaction. You felt it.
Yes.
In fact, many of you have felt the highest high perhaps you have ever felt in this interaction that you created, that you co-created.
I love that.
And then it'll slow up a little bit.
Wow. You just answered several questions that I didn't even have to verbalize. You just read my mind, which is very cool. Really like those things. Thank you for that. So Melanie, and thank you for that whole answer. Honestly, I'm telling you, that was so profound for me personally. Oh my gosh. So I will be writing, and I feel like, the universe just gave me a permission slip and to move forward, and it's all, I totally, thank you. So now Melanie J. Long has asked, how many different lives can we live at once?
Your ability to express in physical is unlimited, and quantity beyond your imagination as a human being. When the idea of quantity is an earthly idea, and it serves to hold you in this environment of distance and space and time and all of those things that allow you to have the type of earthly human experience that you're all having. Mm-hmm. So there's great value of all of that in physical. In non-physical, none of that exists. The idea of how many lifetimes you're going to live and how many expressions you can express and all of that thinking is completely irrelevant in the energetic realm. There is no need for that type of thinking. You can drop into as many as possible, and anything is possible. There is no ending to it.
I love that. Thank you for that. We have a question from Edgar Jamal Bradley asking, I like your name, Edgar Jamal Bradley, just really flows. So is there a deeper truth about what is the Trinity of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit that humanity may misunderstand or have misunderstood?
There are many things that are more or less metaphors for the being at one with Source. You are all Source, but you are all human beings. And when you write these things and come up with these things, you are co-creating from a human perspective. So the idea of an eternal consciousness being eternal, original thought, all that is, and then the idea of an earthly environment, which is an ecosystem of an expression of Source that houses a collective consciousness of many different physical forms, and then bring that in one more time to your individual expression of consciousness, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. And that can go inward or outward. It is 3 different levels of consciousness, yet it is all one.
Wow. Great question. It's a great answer. Thank you.
And we would say that many of you can think of it in terms of planet Earth being the Father, your expression of consciousness being the Son, and eternal consciousness, that which we are, being the Holy Ghost, because it is not seen.
Wow. I'm gonna have to listen to that again later because right now, most of the time I've been right with you today, and every now and then it's like, whoop, goes like an over. I love it. I love these conversations because I literally have to relax my mind and just allow my questions to be channeled through me to you, and then myself just to be able to allow the answers to wash over me. Because if I try to allow, and I'm telling everybody this, because if I try to like mentally process it based on what I've been, taught or learned in my life, it may not make any sense to me. And at certain times it hasn't. And I don't mean specifically in this conversation. I mean throughout my whole journey of the evolution of my soul. And so I think this is really fantastic because I've been right there with you.
we will deliver one more for you, and we will end the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost topic and
Sure.
move on to any other topic you wish to move on to. But the reason that it is ordered in that way is because planet Earth is your outward expression, the Father. You are your personal expression, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, many of you believe, is something external in the heavens out there. It is within as much as it is without.
So wait, so Gaia, so the planet, and then meaning like the Father, and then the Son is us, and then the Holy Spirit is our spark,
Indeed.
Our consciousness.
Indeed, it is your consciousness, and it is in you as much as it is external.
Whoa.
And the saying was intended to spark the idea that it's in you. It's not something that's external. That meaning, of course, has been shifted in many religions. And humans have been told that it's something external from them, that is this higher power that is out there or in the heavens, and that it is judgmental and it is seeking to be worshipped and obeyed. And all of those teachings are human created teachings that separate you from it. And you all know that. You all feel it. You all question it. That's why you are moving away from your organized religions. And your organized religions served a purpose for many for a period of time in consciousness and continue to serve. For you all create your own bubbles of reality. There is no right or wrong, but more humans are ascending to a higher level of thinking, if you will, in physical, and in that ascension, questioning the establishment and moving to more independent thought. And the move toward more independent thought is conjuring interactions such as this. It's a co-creation of this.
These conversations are like the highlights of my life, aside from spending time with my angel dogs and my cats. I'm just saying, this is the best. This is the best. It's like, I'm so glad. It only took me 55 years to get here, but here we are. It's a great thing to be incarnate, to be alive, incarnate at this time. Let me see. Do we have more questions, guys? Do we have more questions? Melanie J. Long is asking, what about spirit family members are on the other side? Are they taking classes per se? That's a good question.
The schooling, if you will, is done in physical.
Yeah.
The non-physical expression is one of all knowing and all seeing, and not needing that expansive experience, but desiring the expansive experience. Hence why you drop yourselves into physical realities to come and forget all of that, if you will, and have a physical expression experience of contrast. And in finding your paths, whatever that manifestation is, that is your new creation. This is not some predetermined destination that you're all marching toward mindlessly. You are co-creating it. And if you're co-creating the experience, you are co-creating the expansion of the experience, thus co-creating the expansion of the universe.
Yes. Wow. This whole evening is just incredible.
Very often, you humans tend to say things like that all thought comes from source, but that is not true. Thought is a co-creation of physical and source. We are source, but you are the creators. If there's one thing that you take away from this interaction, and we understand that you are taking away many, whether you're watching this in real time or in the future, but one important thing is to understand that we are source and you are the true creators. You are expressions of that which we are. We are all one. But these independent strands of consciousness expressing themselves in physical realities, experiencing polarity, thus experiencing contrast, that's where creation occurs. And all creation occurs via contrast, via the desire for a more suitable planet, the desire for a more suitable environment on a planet, the desire for a more suitable location on a planet, the desire for any type of creation, everything that you can see, everything that is in your created reality is an answer to a former perceived problem. Everything. This is why we guide you not to say that you want to move to an environment where there are no problems, to some utopia, not to get to a place where you're all agreeing with one another. Understand the ones that are out on the sidewalk screaming at one another with signs are creating contrast. You don't have to participate in any of that, but they are polarized. They are expressing themselves in a polarized environment, and they are creating the tension needed to drive new creation. And as physical beings, you are all coming together and learning to operate at a higher level, but you're all not doing that at the same pace. Nor is that your desire as a strand of soul consciousness to come and do that at the exact same pace. And part of this enlightenment process, part of this ascension is ascending to the level and becoming so enlightened that you understand that the only value of enlightenment is understanding the definition of enlightenment. And that is, being enlightened is nothing special at all. You're seeking it. You can find joy in it, but find appreciation in your enlightenment for those who you might consider not enlightened, for they serve a purpose.
I feel what you're saying. Thank you for that too. So we have two questions that seem to be pretty much the same, and I like it. So we're going to go for this. It says, so if you okay, what she's asking is, so if you choose to not to come back here, then are you a guide? And I would want to add to that a little bit, because I was wondering, can you even, first of all, can you choose not to come back? Which I think you probably can, but let's see. Can you choose not to come back and you automatically become a spirit guide? Or is that something you can choose to be? Also, from my perspective, the other day I thought, wait a minute, maybe I am a spirit guide already right? Does that make sense? Oh my God, I get it. I'm so good at this.
You are more than one thing.
Right.
You are expressing yourself as a singular strand of consciousness. But when you shed your physical human form and return to what we refer to as your completed state, you understand that you are one thing and you are all things. So you are a guide, you are a ghost, you are a strand of source consciousness, you are source. You are infinite other types of beings. You are all of it. But you are expressing yourself here in what you call this lifetime and what you call linear time as an independent strand of consciousness. So all of your thinking is going to be in relation to that. So imagining yourself as a guide and as a completed state strand of consciousness, choosing not to come back into physical again, all of that is correct, and none of it is correct. Because it is beyond your comprehension to truly understand that which you are eternally. But as our promise to you, if you think of your lifetime as something difficult and think of yourselves as a strand of consciousness that's going to return to your completed state, and in that state of all knowing and all seeing, choose to just be static in that state, that would be the only thing that we would say is really off base, because you are not static energy. And in being that you're not static energy, you are, for lack of a better term, eager to express yourselves in physical infinitely.
I understand that now. For a long part of this life, this particular incarnation, I was like looking forward to never coming back again. But I totally understand what you're saying. That's
because you are not yet in full appreciation of all that you are and all that you have amassed in your experience. But once you appreciate all of that, going and coming is no big deal.
Right.
And once you appreciate all that for you, then you can turn that outward yet again and appreciate the experience of all others, regardless of your discernment as whether that is your preference for them or not. Moving to a space of appreciation of all that is, appreciation of the addicts and the ones with the disorders and the ones that are truly disconnected and the ones that are out on the street corner screaming about politics every day or bombing buildings even or whatever activity they're partaking in. If you can stand in appreciation of every strand of consciousness simply having its experience and holding yourselves in a state of discerning your preference, not to participate or to participate, but in releasing the need to judge all of that.
Yes.
that is going to create your 5D. That is going to create your utopian existence. It's already available to you exactly as you are, where you are, and how you are.
I love that. I really, really love that. Because I mean, it's just my nature to be upbeat anyway. It's always been, even when it didn't serve me at all. It's always been just who I am. So I really feel like I love that. Wow. Not sure if I made any sense just now, but I'm just so excited about this whole conversation. Let me see what time it is. We have like 11 minutes. Do we have enough time for another question, do you think? Okay, cool. All right. So what do we want to ask, guys? We have like probably one or two more questions, depending on the time. I'm not seeing anything right here. You've addressed like everything. Of course, you always do. Okay, I'm not sure who asked this, but you'll know anyway. You'll read the energy. I would like to know how to take this information and to translate it into the experience that I'm having right now.
We have delivered a set of teachings that David teaches called the Taya Practice. And that is the clearest answer to align with all of the teachings that we offer. And it is something that he teaches everywhere all the time. You can Google him, if you will. You can find him anywhere and find him teaching these things. And they all come together. All of these teachings come together in a very real set of tools that you can apply in your lives. The Taya Practice stands for trusting your abundance. And it is a co-creative effort between our teachings and David from his human perspective. And he teaches it to people all over the planet. And it is extremely transformative. So if you wish to take our teachings and apply it, it is the perfect question to end all this up, because David found himself frustrated with the teachings of others at times, in that he couldn't take what they were teaching and apply it through a period of vibrational flow, which you were all in. You find a new set of teachings, you get very excited, you read a new book, you find a new podcast, you find a new YouTube video, you hear certain things that are very transformative, and you know that they have the power to transform your experience. But then trying to apply them in your up and down vibrational flow becomes tedious, becomes frustrating. And you find yourselves very often reverting back to how you were and how things were before. That's your default vibration. You all have one. Look around your lives. Your lives are a reflection of your default vibration. If you want to expand your consciousness and activate an awakening experience, there are things that you need to unlearn that your society teaches you to think and believe about yourselves. That is the first step into changing everything about yourselves. What we are offering is a transformative awakening experience for all who are ready for it, who all are aligned with it. And the set of tools that he teaches are very much about implementing things in your lives to align yourselves with universal law, true universal law. The polarity and vibrational flow have more impact in your lives than understanding law of attraction. Law of attraction is gravity. It's happening to all of you all the time. You're all creating your experience at all times. And we are moving into teachings where you are now ready to fully comprehend, as our host is ready to fully comprehend that which we are offering, and has expanded in this experience. And many of you, as a vibrational alignment to this, have as well. And now where to take it from here is completely up to you. You can take it and ponder it. You can take it and appreciate it. You can take it and forget about it. You can take it and say that it's too much, or you can do some work and start to implement it for yourselves. There's no wrong path. But if you feel that you have been expanded in this interaction and you want to learn more, that is where you go to learn more.
Thank you. Thank you, Stream. That's awesome.
That was exactly where we wanted to end up. So the question was obviously in great alignment with our desires in sharing this, and David's desire in sharing this, and your desire in offering this up. The perfect ending to the absolutely splendid, perfect interaction.
I agree.
That is all.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Wow.
Wow.
Wow, David. Wow. Oh my gosh. Wow.
You are good.
Thanks.
Look what you drew out of them.
Oh my goodness gracious. I'm like, wow, because I get it.
I haven't brought tears to my eyes in a while, but look at this. They are, I know.
Amazing. And I love how wow, this is just an incredible experience. I love how we ended up talking about the Taya boot camp, because if they say that I sent them to Taya, don't they get an extra session or something like that?
Oh.
My human mind kicked in. I'm like,
well, you can. I'm kind of aware of where we ended up there. It's funny that was like the perfect. Yeah. So I created a set of teachings around their a set of tools around their teachings. I'm very confused after I channel. They kind of take the wind out of me, if you know what I mean. So I created these things for myself, and they were very transformative in my life, and they continue to transform my life in big, big ways. And I do teach it all over the place, and it's called the Taya Practice. You can just Google TYA, the Taya Practice. You have to Google all those words, though, the Taya Practice, because Taya stands for a lot of other stuff. But I do have Taya Boot Camp, and you can go to thestreamofdavid.com. In fact, I think I have a little thing that we can put up here.
I love that.
You can go to thestreamofdavid.com/TYA to learn more about the Taya Practice. I have a boot camp program for people that are really ready to get in and work with me for 12 weeks. Of coaching. It's very intense. It's a big thing for people that are really ready to transform their lives. And you can go to that page. I believe the masterclass is there now. And you can go to that page. You can read all about Taya. You can learn about Taya Bootcamp. You can take the free masterclass, which is 45 minutes, very well spent 45 minutes to learn about this practice. And then at the end of that, you can book a session with me. I don't charge for these sessions, and it's a clarity session to find out if Taya is the right thing for you or not. Lisa Danhai is just signing on. She actually graduated from our Taya Bootcamp, so she can tell you all about it. But if you do that, since you were watching this interaction and C. Meagan was the host, mention that C. Meagan sent you in your form that you fill out to do the free session with me. And if you end up taking Taya Bootcamp, you get a free extra hour session with the stream. I think it's a $197 value is what we charge for an hour session with stream. So you get one of those with Taya Bootcamp. And you can then take that second hour that you get for mentioning her name on this video, and then you get a second hour with the stream, and you can use it or you can gift it to somebody else. And a lot of times people gift it because once you've gone through 12 weeks of boot camp, you've met with the stream, you're not really feeling like you need a whole lot of stream at that point. And sometimes people save those, they don't expire, and use them way after they graduate from boot camp. But you do get a second hour with the stream, or you can give that hour to somebody else if you think it's something that they will really get a lot out of.
Awesome.
So do that. Check out Taya, the Taya Practice. Thank you all so much. This was fun.
Wasn't it?
You drew fire from them. I loved it. I don't remember all of it, but the parts that I was present for, it was like, holy shit.
It was incredible, the most amazing experience, and I would love to do this again.
Yeah, no, it was fun. It was fantastic. So I appreciate you hosting.
My pleasure. Honor and a pleasure. David, you're amazing. I thank you so very much for this opportunity. And all of you, it wasn't just me. We had a lot of co-creation going on here.
Oh, the questions are always what make it happen, right?
Yeah, amazing questions being asked today. And I really want to thank everybody for that as well.
I just remember being in the background. At one point, you were kind of spiraling, and I was like, oh, she's so adorable. I love this interaction, because you were just like, oh, my God. So that was very good for me. I appreciate it.
I was getting the answers as I was asking the question, and I had to keep reformulating it. And finally, I'm like, oh, just take it. I'll pass you the ball.
No, it was all the questions, the interactions, the vibration of the day just created. This is my last thing today, too. And what a great way to end the day. I'm going to go out and look at the star, David.
Oh, thank
coming up. It already happened. It's already peaked. Oh, well, we'll find it.
I shall do the same. So thank you again. This is awesome. Thank you.
Love to you all. Thank you so much. And Merry Christmas to everybody.